Hello? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, thank you, sir. So I'm going to introduce you in about 2:05, and then you can start, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, my name is Michael Ojo. I'm the founder and CEO of Octave Corporations. If you're just joining, you can just okay. Let me help with that. All right, that's fine. Okay. So if you're just joining in, please also let's try to mute ourselves. Okay. All right. So hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on the importance of why the okay. Please, this is 2023. We are already used to the norms of norms of online meetings, right? When we join, we immediately mute ourselves. All right, thank you very much. So welcome again to the maiden webinar of Melody AI. My name is Michael Ojo. I'm the founder and CEO of Octave Corporations, a digital solutions company aimed at advancing digital technology in Nigeria and Africa at large. And we are working on a new product which will be launched anytime soon, end of this month or the beginning of next month, called Melody AI. And it's a product that aims to democratize analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence amongst SMEs. And the reason why we do these webinars is so as to educate people on the importance of using technologies like this to scale their businesses. And of course, you can also use it for research and of course for your education. So we have today with us Mr. Taiwo Obasan, who is our speaker for this webinar. He is a multidisciplinary digital transformation and digitization expert with a passion for leveraging technology to scale traditional ideas and business processes while making a daily human interaction simpler, easier, and more affordable to access. Through business planning and strategic partnership, Mr. Obasan has directly advised and trained over 1,000 SMEs that are now experiencing significant growth. With almost a decade of experience in various industries, including fintech, edutech, proptech, health tech, FMCG, which is fast moving consumer goods, and agrotech. Mr. Obaso has held several key positions such as CEO, technical manager, venture builder, operation manager, strategic advisor, growth hacker, product designer, and product manager. So we should, I think there are some emojis that is used on Zoom. You can check on the reaction and just clap or something while we welcome Mr. Taiwo Obasan. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you very much for the invitation to speak. Can everyone hear me or see me?
We can see you and hear you loud and clear, sir.
All right.
We can see you and hear you loud and clear.
All right. So I might have to switch off my camera in a few seconds. so it's easier for us to have this conversation. I just wanted you guys to put a face to the name. All right. Now, thank you very much to the team for inviting me. I am very impressed by what you guys do at Melody, yeah, and also, I mean, what you are currently using AI to do, right? Expanding. So AI as a concept, as a concept is quite theoretical to a lot of people, right? So it's very good to see people trying to let us see AI, um, how AI can impact our daily life, right? So thank you very much for the invitation once again. All right, let's get into the topic in itself. So there are two aspects of the topic, which is analytics, and the second one is more or less like what we call SMEs, right? And we all know what who SMEs are, right? And SMEs are largely small businesses, regardless of whether you are in tech, you are in fashion design, you are in um, soap making, up to maybe you're a financial service, right? Whatever it is, right? Depending on your revenue, right? That's what makes you small and medium enterprises, and they are the backbone of the economy, right? Most people work in within that space, within the SME space, right? They are also the ones that normal human being, I mean, sorry, an average citizen interacts with, right? So I'm trying to be as brave as possible, right? So they are the backbone of our economy. They are the ones that ensure that in terms of job creation, we have jobs, in terms of innovation, in terms of economic growth. And if you check, there was a recent report by Nigerian Bureau of Statistics putting our unemployment rate at 4%. If you dive deep into that data, you would figure that the sole reason that dropped was slightly because they are now accounting for um, more SMEs. They are accounting for more people that are more entrepreneurs that are trying to do things their own way, right? So now, people that are selling on WhatsApp, I mean, people that sell bags, shoes, and all on WhatsApp, right? They are also being um, they are also being accounted for. Right? That's why we have 4%. Right? I mean, there's the agricultural aspect of it, right? So now, what's this topic today? What I've been asked to come and do, right, is to more or less like, okay, let me also put things into concept, into context, rather, to say, also when the economy is about to go bad, the first set of people that gets hit by the economy. Also,
Also,
SMEs, right? So, if anything is happening to the business, if the business is about to go bad, if the business is about to go bad and all of that, right? Um, the first thing, the first thing that happens is more or less like businesses start backing up and all, right? So you can see how important it is, right? So if any government is very serious about building its economy, who do they want to, right? Or who do they empower? They empower, what they do is to immediately empower small and medium enterprises. Now, if that's the case, right? Um, how then can we use the power of analytics to ensure that we scale these small and medium enterprises that are very, very important to us? What role can analytics play? Now, if you ask me, you would ask what analytics is, right? Now, analytics in itself is more or less like the ability of um, people to gather data. So that's the first thing, right? You are gathering data, right? And what can be your data points? For SMEs, your data points can be more of maybe people buying from you, when they buy, the time they buy, the kind of product that they buy, the kind of people that buy the kind of product. That's like market segmentation, product segmentation, user journey, user behavior, behavioral data. You have even up to user journey and user path. They are very closely knitted, right? So it is the act of using mathematics, statistics, I mean, and more powerful things like machine learning, artificial intelligence models, and all, right, to find patterns that exist across all of these things that I've mentioned in the past. So you can either be saying, you can either be predicting what would happen, to say what would happen in my business, right, using existing data that you have. Right, that's one of the things um, that it does, to say I'm predicting what would happen using data that currently exists today. What would happen? For instance, when do people buy, right? So I can be rest assured that people buy umbrellas during rainy season, right? So because of the data that I've gotten, something as simple as that, right? To say people would buy umbrella during rainy season, let me make umbrella at this time, right? Then the next thing would now also be, okay, where do people buy umbrellas, right? Do people need umbrellas at event centers, right? What is the data I've gotten from event centers on the use of umbrella? So it can be predictive, which is looking into the future, right? It can be prescriptive, which is more or less like you are prescribing solutions, right? To say I have a problem. For instance, now let me give you this. Might be that you are collecting data Monday to Sunday. If I'm being too fast, you can just drop it in the chat box to say, hey, you are being too fast. You mentioned something, please come back, explain that, right? So it might be more of say Monday to Friday, right? To say and between Monday and Friday, right? I sell things. So I figured that every 4 p.m. on Sunday. In fact, let me make it for people that probably sell on WhatsApp, right? You figure that if you post, right, certain things on certain time, right, you sell more. So on a day that you just figure that sales was dry, what do? You go back to the past to say, what is the prescription? It's just like doctors um, saying, you prescribing drugs to doctors, like doctors prescribing drugs to you, right? You say this is what will solve this. How did they know? Because a lot of people have used for headache now. Doctors will say, oh, if you use paracetamol, it will most likely relieve you of your headache. How were they able to do that? Because in the past, a lot of people have been using paracetamol and it has been resolving that, right? So those are like certain patterns that you can use analytics to do, right? Then that's, I've mentioned prediction, prescription. Then you can use it to diagnose, to say what is the cause of this problem, right? Why is this thing happening this way, right? You can collect certain data. Maybe talking to customers. Maybe aside from talking to customers, maybe aside from talking to customers, maybe you interacting with certain things that has happened. It might be you looking at your database, it might be you looking at your finances, it might be you looking at the demographics of people, right, that are currently doing that, to diagnose what the problem is, right? Then again, you might use it to describe. So we can use data to describe, to say, who is my customer, right? That's like customer analytics, customer segmentation. I might say I have 3 types of customer. One, they are female, they are within the age of 8 and 10, they are this to this. These are like analytics, right? So if I say that I sell, more females buy what I sell and they buy it from Android phone, how do I make more sales? I need to do a lot of adverts to females. So that simply means the kind of models I'm going to be using, kind of colors I'm going to be using for my product, and all of that will be tailored towards females, right? So I hope we all understand those 4 things that we can use data to do. Now, to now move into, so we've explained analytics and we've explained we've explained analytics and we've explained SMEs, right? We now want to move into how can you use analytics to scale your SME. The first one that is very, very simple is for you to understand your customers, right? So that's the first thing. So if you want to understand customers, if you want to know what they like, if you want to know what they love, how they behave, who they are in terms of where do they stay and all of that, data analytics help you. So that simply means part time you have to be conscious of collecting those data, right? To say, okay, in terms of how much, what's the people that buy from me, what's like their average income, like, right? What kind of job do they do, right? What kind of social media do they have, right? What is their age range? Are they always educated? What kind of education do they have? Do they speak English? I mean, all of those things will help you to actually understand the kind of customers to target, right? And also like what your marketing strategy should be. Then also in terms of market, is it that this product is just more or less like you are selling cola nut, right? And you are taking cola nut to Twitter. You barely see people want to buy it because of the probably the demographics on Twitter is now X. Apologies, right? But if you take something like that also to say Facebook, right? It would what would happen is because it has a an elderly demographics, you most likely see that you would sell a lot better, right? So that's the first thing, how you can use analytics to scale your SME, which is targeting marketing and customer insights, right? Ensuring that you have as much information about your customer, about their persona, right? What their pain points are, the type of person that they are, right? And what resonates with them, right? You have to build all of that. So that if you're able to do that, it helps you to, even if you want to run ads, right? You would now know the kind of person to run the ads to. What I always advise people, um, what I always advise people, right, to do is to, as much as possible, build four different human beings, right, for their business. So you build them according to your persona that you have, and those that would help you to in terms of your marketing, that will help you in terms of your customer service, that will help you in terms of even tailoring your product to them, right? In your user experience, the kind of language you use, and all, right? So that's number one. Number two is on competitive advantage, right? So industry analysis. What kind of data can you get? What kind of data can you get, right, from your industry, right? Who is the market? Who is like the market leader in your industry, aside from the market leader in your industry, who is more or less like your industry analysis generally, right? To say who are your competitors in terms of data analytics. So we have a tool called there's a tool that Melody AI is currently building that can that would also help you, right, in terms of understanding your industry, and in terms of also getting like what they want, what your competitors are doing. So deep dive analysis and all of that. So I don't want to give too many examples of tools that you can use. I mean, there's already AI um, that exists to do this, and you can just more or less like just explore Melody AI to do them. But largely, one of the data points that you should get would be how your customers are currently doing things and all of that. So there is something called sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis simply means you go in on social media, on communities and all of that, and trying to see what people are saying, right? about your business, what people are saying about other businesses that are within your industry, and seeing what the positive side of it is, what the negative side of it is, what are the keywords that they are using, right? Whenever they are describing you, both positively and negatively, right? So those are like more or less like um, different tools that are different processes when it comes to analytics that we use for competitive um, advantage and also to get like the overall industry analysis, right? Also, because of time, I'm trying to um, discuss all of the things that I noted down that we are going to discuss, right? Also, decision making, right? So for people that are probably um, on this webinar that probably have businesses that have, say, um, a tech side to it, right? So there's something called um, event and parameters, right? That there is event and parameters, and what these events are largely is more of the um, what it does largely is more or less like they look at they listen to everything that your customer does, right? How they make their decision, right? So you can say, probably I have an app for a logistics app, right? And it will take me 5 clicks to get there. So you can build listening. I am not sure, but Michael will clarify if Melody AI does event listening, right? If Melody AI does event listening, but in a nutshell, what that does is more or less like it helps you to make decision about your business, right? So when you've gathered all of these data sources to say this is like how my customers want to buy things, right? You might have thought. Let me give you an instance. I think it was eBay, um, and because they changed the color of so they did an A/B test, right? To change the color of buy, right? So there was it was formerly red, right? Looking at and black, right? So when you want to buy something, the button to buy used to be red. So they did an A/B test to say let's put green, black, to see what people can do, right? They figured that because a lot of people saw green as something that was more or less like um, positive, they made more sales than when the color was just red and people were just for just psychological bias. They were not just clicking that link because anything that has to do with red, right, or black was not necessarily like going to be the actual call to action, right? And from experience, we've also built. Let me give one. So there was a savings product that we're working on, and we figured that why people were not necessarily saving was because we were asking for BVN before like they get onboarded. So it's more or less like, oh, I just want to save money. Why should I? But because we've already set events listeners and and um, and funnel, we've built funnels, right, to see how people are currently interacting with these things. We figured that people were dropping off from the BVN side of things. So we made BVN, we stopped making BVN very compulsory. We removed it. Then we also figured that people would rather create their savings, be seeing it first, that the app even works before they add money. Right? Then we broke down like how people were adding money. And that was like how we were able to start selling more. Right? So those are like some of the things, the decisions that data can help you make. Another thing would be, let me also give an example, right? So I happen to hear about, I don't know if there are a lot of people that know Tolaram, right? So they distribute FMCG products, right? And all. And according to what I heard, they actually from time to time analyze up to 1 million data points every second. Right? So every second they analyze over 1 million data points. So they know where people are buying Indomie noodles, right? Where people love Indomie noodles. So they know where people prefer mini me to Indomie, right? So rather than just tell their field service agents to just say, take Indomie noodles to this area. They already know what they like. They already know how they interact. Right? They already know how sales are moving from shop to shop. They already know what each person selling in that area, what they sell the most, right? And that's like how they make their sales. What's it called? That's how they make their sales decision, and from there, I mean, you can see that the business is doing well and all that. So even up to which will lead me to the next thing, which is cost optimization, right? Collecting data, you would be able to see what is like my biggest cost line, right? How can I optimize this cost? What other routes can I take? I didn't want this session because I wanted to just be 30 minutes, right? And we spent about 20 minutes. So I didn't want to go too technical, right, with you guys. But there are tools that you can use, AI tools that have been built that we have also used. I mean, for data analytics that can help you filter out what your biggest cost line is. You can upload your management account, you can upload, and from there you can do your day-to-day transactions. You can upload invoices, and it will help you even structure how your cash flow, right? To say, oh, okay, in the past, we were not able to meet this purchase order because of XYZ. So every April, our LPOs should not be 30 days, but it should be 40 days, right? So that's for cost optimization, right? Then risk management. Now, this one is one of the most important ways you can use analytics. So what it does largely is to look at as past behavior of say your customers, right? And where their risk um, risk points, right? So to say over time someone that has behaved badly this way, this was more or less like how what happened. Then automatically models like ignore.io, we have Igneo, we have the Azure manager. I'm trying to, but the most popular of them is Igneo, right? So what it does is it runs through your business process to identify um, where the risk is. Aside from identifying where the risk is, helps you to break down like the user parts, the user journey, how people are, and the business cycle, right, into processes and how you can avert like those risks, right? So it can anticipate, like I said, it is predictive, right? So it can anticipate what the problem is, where the problem would be, right? And it can diagnose what causes that kind of problem, so you can probably solve it, right? Then I would also, for my notes here, I also have efficiency and productivity, which is like where the big, another big thing for SMEs, right? So you figure that you do things over and over and over and over again, right? And why you are doing those things over and over again, it's likely because you have not identified the um, you have not identified like the pattern, right? Um, for things. So things like, I'm trying to see an example that I can give. Yeah, so things like maybe you want to do you want to set pricing, things like you want to market, things like you want to really sell to people, right? So what analytics can help you do, right, would be to predict, which is the first thing, to predict like where your customer would be and already place the ads there. So we have what we call programmatic ads, right, that rely on your existing customer behavior data, right? So with programmatic ads, what that literally does is it follows the customer from your own platform to anywhere they can get to. So that's why for bigger businesses like betting companies, like e-commerce platforms, you notice that probably you're having a conversation or you are chatting with someone about shoes, and you go to your timeline, you see shoes. You go to another website, you see shoes. You go to YouTube, you see shoes and all like that, right? So how they're able to do that is to use the internal analytics of the business, match it with other data sources and data points, and use that to serve you ads. If you have not been tracking your users, if you have not been tracking all of those, you'll be spending a lot more on marketing, and your acquisition will be a lot um, a lot smaller, right? So you can optimize your processes, you can improve your overall efficiency and productivity. I mean, how you manage your inventory, you can you can predict the kind of goods that will stay longer, you can reduce your cost, you can enhance your supply chain to say, oh, this is the best time these goods should come based on the data I've collated. This is um, and all. So just to go back again, what are the four type of ways you can use data, right? You can either use it for prediction, right? You can use it to prescribe, prediction in the sense of what will happen in the future. Prescribe, which is more or less like, okay, there's this problem, right? What is the solution, right? You can also use it to diagnose where the problem is, and you can use it to describe what has happened, right? And data can be used for better decision making. Data can be used for cost optimization. Data can be used for efficiency, improved productivity. Data can be used for risk management. You can use it for your industry analysis, competitive um, analysis and all. And lastly, you can, excuse me, you can use data to understand your customer, which is like the most important part of this entire conversation, right? For small businesses, who are your customers? Where do they live? Where do they stay? What do they like? What are the things that they do? When do they come online, right? What social media platform are they? What are the best places that they spend most of their time on? What other thing do they like? What similar products do they use, right? And all of that. And combining all of that together, it becomes easier for you to go. And in this stage that we have, even if you are not thinking of tech, tech is already thinking of you, right? So you have to start to compete with other people and scale your business, right? You have to start embracing analytics, right? You have to start gathering data as much as possible. You have to start asking questions, reaching out to customers, trying to understand what they want, understanding their user persona, build like five different user personas, right, that speak to your product and market to them, right? So because of time, I believe I've spent 30 minutes. I hope I've been able to do justice to the topic. Hello, hello, hello. Can
Hello, we are with you, sir. We can hear you.
all right. Thank you very much. So, if you have any question on analytics, on data, and all, I would love to answer them.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You can go ahead. Yeah, I can't hear anything again, or is it just me?
I also can't hear anything.
All right. Can you guys still hear me? Hello, Michael.
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
All right. Yes, I totally followed your program. I'm currently at a job fair at Jubaman, and we are also trying to promote the company, just as we are doing with this webinar.
Viagra.
So we really appreciate your time, sir. So I would want to ask the audience if they have any questions. For example, someone is asking that, can you talk about how the programming advertisement works again?
Okay. So, all right. Thank you. So let me answer that. So I had mentioned the different kind of data that you need to collect. Okay, can you probably just drop the name of your business, or not necessarily the name of your business, what you do, so I can answer on how you
Can I
can
drop what, sir?
gather data. No, like Zeno, the person that asked the question, um, I just want to
Okay,
know
okay, okay.
the industry. So it's okay, business consulting. Great. Now, as a business consultant, what you do is more or less like service, right? So you have to first look for businesses that are in need of your service, right? Now, so it will now be what type of business. That's where the customer data comes in, right? What kind of business do I want to appeal to? For instance, there's a thing that I do that I'm just focused on financial institutions, right? And all I just do is help them digitize their business. So for those kind of businesses, I'll be looking at where are they, right? What type of business are they? Should they be one person owned? How big would they be? Right? What type of business do they do? How much revenue would they have made for them to be able to pay me? Right? How long do I want this to be? Right? Etc., like that. Right? Now, what do they like? The owners of the business. So, will I see the owners of this business on LinkedIn alone? Will I see them on um, other places, right? What kind of websites would they read? Would they read, say, Linda Ikeji? Probably not. Probably all they will be, they would, um, all they will be. Yes, I'm already explaining how to source for the data, right? You can see that I'm breaking down my customers, right? They will read Punch, they will read a Business Day, they will read all these serious ones. They will be on LinkedIn, they will be at job fair, they will be like at this and all of that. Right now, I've gathered all the data. Those are like more or less like my data sources, right? Or my data points, right? I've gathered all the data. I have answers to all of them. Then the next thing will now be, do I want to target them online or do I want to target them offline? Now, if I want to target them online, if I go on maybe Google ad sales and all of that, it is the user persona that I have built that would use to target. That's the audience I'm going to target, right? If you now want to say, because it's a service, programmatic ad might not necessarily be a lot of things, right? If you now want to say, okay, I want to do programmatic ads, I want to buy on Eskimi, I want to use user data, right, to do retargeting. That will now mean that you will supply these big um, platforms like Eskimi, like and a couple of them. You supply them with your customer data to now say, see, look at what I've gathered by interviewing my customers, by looking at the patterns that exist on my system. People have consulted for things like who they are, right? Now, use this same information to run ads so that everybody that sees, the only people that will see the ad part of my business online would be people that are closer to this persona that I've given you, right? So that's more or less like how to source and how to link it. So you can, even if you want to have better returns on your Google ads, have better returns on your Facebook ads, on your LinkedIn ads, and your Twitter ads, you need to have gotten this data formed by the pattern of your um, formed by the pattern of what's it called now? Of your existing clients. So the way AI works and all of that is it leverages existing information to either predict the future, prescribe a solution, diagnose a problem. So I hope that answers your question, Zini.
Oh, mine get much by 3. Fuck. Brighton.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Daddy.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't able to meet up the class from the beginning, but the little I was able to catch up something. But my question is, we don't really have idea for data analysis. We don't really know the basics. How do we try to meet up with this?
So this is a problem. I don't
All right.
understand now bad luck.
Please, who is Jeremiah? Can the person mute their mic? All right, thank you. All right. So if I get your question accurately, Debbie, you are saying you that probably you don't have the experience, right? That um, how do you then start? All right.
Yes,
Now,
please.
the first thing that you have to do, you have that experience, and that's more on, do you know your customer? Do you keep track of what they do and how they do it? All interactions, do you take note of patterns? That's the first thing you have to do. You know that one, you don't need technicalities, right? Now, because that process can now be cumbersome, you now have AI solutions that help you automate that process, right? So I believe one of that is what they are they are trying to build, right? I believe that that's like what they are trying to build with Melody AI, to the best of my knowledge. But I there are also tools that can help you do that. But because I mean I was invited here on Melody.ai, I mean you can also do that there. So getting all of this information from them, understanding the pattern, right? They're now moving this pattern to execution, right? To prescribe a solution for yourself or predict what will happen to the future is how you win or how you best make use of. So can you tell me the industry your business is so I can give you a practical example?
Okay, I'm working in a firm as an accounting assistant for now.
Okay. So since you are working, I think you are looking
And
at
hello,
yeah, I'm with you.
yes, and we also have an account a logistic firm.
All right. So
Did you hear what I
I
said?
believe yes. So I believe a way you can use AI and analytics would be more of in terms of cost optimization, in terms of understanding where to place. In fact, there's a lot that you guys can use AI to do to scale that logistics business, right?
Okay.
How do you make decisions of the rider to go from one place to another, right? How do you make the decision of um, how do you currently make decision on what the best what was the word now? The best route for a rider to take, right? How do you make the decision of how much you have to charge people? How do you make the decision of the kind of customers, right? The kind of customers that would most likely, um, what's the word now? That you would most likely pitch to, right? So there's a lot. Exhaust um, I cannot exhaust them all here, largely because I believe that's one of the service that Melody AI does, and you can just reach out to them um, to do that, to get that done.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. So if there are none, if there are no other questions, I will just yield
Excuse
back
me, I
to.
have a question. I have a
Okay.
question.
All right.
I just want to ask, what do you consider on the part of the small scale enterprise that advertises their products from those that doesn't advertise their products? You know, you are into data analytics. What do you really pick on those who advertises their products, who from those who did not advertise their products? Can you just analyze what the small scale enterprise really did and the effect that the advertising, what they advertised will have on their on their business, the effects of the advertisement of their products, what we have on their business.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Benga. So let me quickly say it. If you have a beautiful wife and you keep it inside the house and you lock it up 247, right? You only be telling people you have a beautiful wife. Nobody will know that you have a beautiful wife, right? So now, the number one thing where it comes from is the more people hear from you, right? The more people hear about your business, the more they are aware of what you can do, right? And the more sales come. So it's more of a funnel thing to see how many leads will I generate to get XYZ number of paying customers. So it might be that you will have to talk to 1 million people to get 1,000 customers. So do you want to talk to 1 million people individually? No. So that's why you go for ads. You start advertising, right, on social media and on all these other platforms that I've mentioned earlier, right? You start advertising your business, right? Then there's now the difference between people that advertise using backed up by data and people that just advertise. So if you are spending, say, 1 million naira on adverts and you're just advertising without leveraging existing customer data that you have to predict the kind of customers that you should advertise to, you'll be wasting money. Maybe at the end of the day, the entire number of people that would get on your business, right, might not be up to 500, right? But if you're advertising to, let's say you have existing customers that are like 100, and you have categorized them using those personal that I've explained in the past into 4, right? If you advertise to those 4 set of people, those people will most likely buy. So let me give you an instance. You are coming to me, I'm 90 years old, right? That I should come and you're advertising noodles to me. I cannot eat it, right? I cannot. So you are most likely just wasting your money advertising to me. But if you have narrowed down to say kids between the age of 5 and 10 are the ones that most likely eat noodles. They are within so area, and you go to those areas maybe via online ads or physically and all of that. You most likely spend less to get more people and you get actual buyers. So I hope I've been able to. And again, thank you, Zeno. Zeno said increase sales, just like I said, and visibility. Yeah. So those are like things that you get. So you can see people that don't advertise, people that advertise, and people that now advertise backed up by data. So you can see the 3 differences. So because of time, I'll be drawing the curtains here. Thank you very much, guys, for having me. Um, Back to you, Michael.
wrap up.
I guess Michael's network is bad, or he's actually unable to respond now. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, can hear you also.
Okay. So I suppose the next webinar we'll be having would be for 7th of October. So let's do well to anticipate and register also for it. Thank you so much to our speaker for today. I guess we can leave the meeting now. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. You're welcome. And thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are all grateful.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Well, if you can hear me, that is the. Okay,
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Oh, all right. From Mr. Michael, he said I should tell you guys that we can start leaving the webinar now. Thank you for joining, and we hope to see you guys next time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.